about time we did another review. I'm back with some very interesting products in the detergent section of the supermarket to review. This is from Sainsbury's. Let's see how this combination works. And you're watching FlorenceBallardA3060 on film. Alright, so for those who are either washing machine enthusiasts and buy a lot of detergent, or for the regular household user that buys detergent, I'm sure that you'll know now that detergent prices are going up with the cost of living and inflation. However, though, I did manage to find in one of our famous British supermarkets, I managed to find something quite cheap. This here is from the Sainsbury's own brand range, and it's a combination that I thought to try out. On the left, you will see the washing powder, which is 25 washes, and it's non-biological. It also says it's for sensitive skin, so it's good for people like me and those who may suffer with skin conditions such as dermatitis and eczema. And it is proven to give you 25 washes. As always, though, that is dependent on how much you use. So depending on your water softness or water hardness area, the harder your water, the more you'll be using. So with me, I'd probably estimate I get about 17 or 18 washes out of that, because I live in London and that's a very hard water area, so I'm having to use more detergent than normal. And on the right we have a lovely fabric conditioner to go with it. It's the fragrance called Black Saffron Amber Wood, and it's concentrated to give you 40 washes, again depending on how much you use. I tend to just use one cap if it's concentrated, never really needing many more than that. Now normally with a sensitive they'll tell you to go for the pure or sensitive conditioner, but I thought I'd try this out. This was the range that I thought smelled quite nice. The sensitive is fragrance free, so it might not be for everyone who actually wants fragrance on their laundry. The powder itself does have that typical non-biological sensitive smell. Can't really state that there's a preference on how it smells, but for anyone who buys, say, Tesco or Asda non-biological powder, you'll probably know the fragrance I'm on about. It's just a natural sort of cleaning fragrance, sort of soapy smell, not anything too jazzed up. Now normally I'm not always fond of conditioners that have these artificial fragrances to them, but I thought for this one it did actually smell quite nice. A lot of them I find quite pungent, including some are related to the fragrance of nail varnish remover. There was a few conditioners I've tried in the past that have had that sort of residual smell to them. So when we're putting these to the test on a standard 40 degree wash, the reason I use 40 is because I've normally done it on a 60, but nowadays people tend to use 40 more or even 30. With all this urge for people to wash cooler. Personally, though, there is a hazard with doing that, but to each their own. You're not exactly killing many viruses or anything in that sort of temperature range, and also causing, especially today's machines that don't use a lot of water, you're not exactly cleaning the machine out properly. Anyway, enough of that. We're going to put it to test. I've got some different stains that we can test here, and I'll show you what we've got. So I like to give detergents a real hard and thorough test. So I do with a load of towels, because these are the most absorbent items you can wash. So it really will test how good at rinsing both products are, and especially dealing with materials where stains can get soaked in. So this is a tea towel here. There's some like jam we've got here. I think that was done this morning. It's hard, so I'll definitely know if that's been washed out, because it's feels like glue on there. But yep, that's some strawberry jam. This one is really just for fragrance test. I also throw in some non-stained items to test the fragrance. This is heavily stained. We've got some oil-based stains here. We've got brown sauce or HP sauce, but unfortunately it's not HP brand. And some Worcestershire sauce on there as well. I've let them dry in a bit. This towel here is partially for fragrance, but I don't know if they're still on here. Yeah. There's some small stains here of, I can say they're like, it's like not motor oil, but like, it's sort of motor carbon brush soot, as I restore vintage washing machines in my free time. So I had a motor out of an old Hoover one, and some of the like grease, the oil that comes from the motor was all over the towel. So this is heavy outdoor staining. That was after just dusting some railings on my balcony. If it can shift this at 40 degrees, you know that it's good to go. But what I'm going to do for this one is I might actually do it at 30 degrees because I want to actually check how good this is at washing at a lower temperature. And see if it actually... These will all be re-washed anyway, but the main thing is that I want to just see how the performance works. Let's say if we were to put it on a 30 like they recommend you to do. Right, so this one opens... it doesn't open like Persil or does. So this one, you slide it out, and it... Oh, this is very clever. So it forms a chute. I like that. So that's a point that Sainsbury's gets for this. Because most detergents, you open up a little flap here, and then you have to sometimes actually bend it out somehow or rip it off. But this forms a chute, so that's one bonus point. So here are your dosage instructions on the back. You've got your soil level. It gives you your average load size as well. So this is probably like a 3 kilogram load. And you got hard water, soft water, medium water. If you are using, so say today a lot of machines are large capacity, you can add an additional dosage, extra 30 millilitres. Standard number of washes is based on the dosage of normal soiling and medium water. So that's what I was saying, it depends on how much you use according to your water. If you are in a medium water level using a normal soil wash, yes, you are guaranteed to get 25 washes out of it. Again, you might get more if you don't use a lot of detergent in it. So what I tend to do is I will go by the soiling here. Medium water and medium soil, so I'm going to go for a 70 milliliter dose in this. Because we're testing it like the average UK user. I'll stick the load in. You can put it in the drum if you wanted. If you do have a dosing ball, I go by putting it in the drawer like I've always done. That's the load in. So we're going to test it on 30 just to see how it actually performs. Okay, so yes, I know that drawer needs a bit of a clean. Now you might be thinking what that is. That's a Calgon tablet because I live in a hard water area. That's why, especially I'm using a medium soil. It isn't really relevant to the detergent's performance in that sort of way. It just means that the water going to my machine is a lot more softer and removes more of the scale. Because this is a cold fill only machine, that's why I use this one to do reviews and not the vintage one you can see here, which is a hot fill. Anyway, let's go for about 70 ml. So we've got 40. That's really easy to pour, that is. So look at that, just go straight in, comes out in a nice, so you're not shaking the box too much. A bit more. Obviously getting 70 is a bit hard because it's not actually marked out. Oh, that's got, yeah, it's got a very nice natural sort of cleaning fragrance to it. Nothing too much. And this is a very small cap, so I don't know how many millilitres you're talking on this one, but you literally just pour in. Now I know they'll be like, oh, you don't use conditioner with towels. I personally use it with towels and I've never seemed to have a problem with it. That's what people say, so to each their own, really. But this is testing both on a very absorbent load. So like I said, we're going to do cottons, but I'm going to turn it to 30 instead, so check how it actually works. I'm not going to use any options because we're testing it to sort of modern day standards. A lot of machines today do 2 rinses only. We'll see how it works. Although there are some that do 3 rinses, but we'll see how it goes. So just get this performance after the machine has started filling. There's no heating yet. So the average water level, yeah, it's a bit of suds, so it seems to work quite well in cold water. Not 30 degrees is much of heat anyway, but it's a bit more, it's close to what the enzymes would be normally active. So yeah, I just thought I'd capture that. Seems to be doing, so it's good, it's dissolving well in cold water. So So the machine has reached its temperature, and we're doing the fast tumbles now. We do. Yes, there's a bit of suds in there. That's what happens with low temp washers though, and non-bio detergents. They're designed to work to higher temperatures and do get a bit. The sensitive ones do get a bit sudsy. If you're doing this on a 40 or 60, the suds level would go down. But it'll be interesting to see how well that rinses. Again, rinsing is also though on the performance of the machine. If the machine uses very little water, it isn't going to really rinse well. So if you know your machine uses low level water, maybe reduce the dosage a little bit. But this tumbling action and sort of spin action the machine does, distribution, it does whip up a lot of suds. And it's down to the machine as well. So this is the first rinse. Yeah, you can see quite a bit of suds remaining in that one. So we'll monitor how it goes on the next rinse with the conditioner, because even though conditioners do work well, you'll know if your detergent doesn't rinse properly because there'll still be suds present. So see, you can see what it does. It's a bit of a suds lot there. Clearing it though. So this is the final rinse stage. The conditioner has been taken in. I can actually smell it. It's quite nice. I smell it really raw. So you can probably see we do use a lower level on the final rinse to not dilute the conditioner much, but yeah, it's still a bit of suds remaining. I mean, it's natural with the final rinse, but probably the water could be a bit clearer. So I do say that obviously, I don't know if a 40-degree wash would have had any, it probably wouldn't have had any different outcome. And that's the thing, a lot of these sensitive ones do get quite sudsy. So, end of the cycle, we'll do the first fragrance test. So, yeah, got it dry. We'll do the stain test as well. So, fragrance test check. Oh, okay. So, I like with this, you've got a combination of the powder and the conditioner. They don't cancel each other out. One isn't stronger than the other, so that's really nice. Okay, so let's check. This was the one with the stains from the washing machine motor on it. Oil on there, none. Okay, that's one successful. So that's hard stains. What was this one? This was the HB sauce, or brown sauce and vinegar. Oh, Worcestershire sauce. That's come out nice and clean. This was the one with the jam on it. It was in the corner. Yep, that's not anything there. Successful on that. And this was the outdoor stains, like mud and dust. And the other way. Test was a success. Now, final part. Will that fragrance last during the dryer? Now, I don't normally show this, but I'm doing it to show you all that I'm not cheating by using any fragrance booster or dryer sheets. That goes in the dryer, full heat, and that's how we'll check at the end. Alright, so here's the results from the dryer. So, dried very soft, and the fragrance, it's still there. Not as strong, but it tends to happen after a dryer. But I've actually dried that really well, and it's dried quite softly. You might be able to hear that sound in the background. My upstairs neighbour's got her washing machine on. It's a Hot Point, I think, or yeah, Hot Point / Indesit. No, I think it's a 1400 model. Yeah, she has on every night. Oh wow! So yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed with that detergent. For the price of it, I'll tell you, I'll go through the price at the end. Conclusion time. So, what do I think of this laundry range from Sainsbury's? Okay, well, for one thing, it's good. Good value for what it is. It's nothing fancy. Say it's Sainsbury's own brand, but none of these sort of putrid artificial fragrances. It's good for people's sensitive skin. Okay, yeah, being cautious when you do wash. Of course, you know it's a bit sudsy. It's probably the only down point I say of it is that it is quite sudsy. It did take a bit to rinse that out. I would have done I personally washing. I would do 3 or 4. I'd probably do 3 rinses, but that as opposed to 2. So if you're in soft water areas, I'd probably say watch out on your dosing, because in soft water areas that will foam up quite a lot. Maybe machines with hot fill rather than cold fill, you probably get a bit of a better result because it won't cause it to foam up as much. But it left a pleasant fragrance. So those who are allergic to, say, the perfumes in these detergents, I'd say this is something I recommend for you. Price of the powder was £2.75, so you get £2.75 for a 25 wash, and it's 1.25 kilogram box. It's a lot smaller. As you may know now, they are downsizing the size of detergent boxes, mainly because it doesn't waste on material. So that size is more what a 10 wash box used to be. It's what 25 is. 25 is now what 40 washes. 40 washes now what basically 22 washes. And yeah, well, then 40 washes. Yeah, so it's downgraded basically in the size. So that's what I've got to say about the powder. I really like the idea of this pouring spout. I think that's something that every manufacturer should do for their boxes. In fact, I think the only one I remember that used to have that, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Surf used to have that. There used to be a metal tab that came out the side. It was either Surf or it might have been Bold, maybe, with the small boxes. But I remember having that. You used to have like a little, yeah, like a little metal tab you pull out and it created a chute. So rather than you, I can't really show if I've got any. So for example, this is another store brand, this one here. So see, you got, it's a bit more irritating when you've got to keep doing that. That's sort of what they have. So I've got to say that's an improvement on that. It means it's easier to store, it'll be less likely to spill. Conditioner, I pay £1.50 for that. Again, 40 washes. It's a standard measurement depending on how much you dose. Same with the powder. If you're using more, if you're doing bigger loads, heavy soil or hard water area, you're going to be getting a lot less out of it. Same with the conditioner. If you're someone that likes to put an extra half cap or extra cap in, you're going to get a lot less than 40 washes. 1 cap seems to be good enough because it's concentrated, which means it's a stronger performance. And rather than, say, you get the big bottles of Comfort or so, which have a cap about that big, and nowadays in washing machines, the conditioner compartment is, some of them are a bit bigger, some of them are smaller. In older machines like the Hot Point I've got next to the Miele, the conditioner compartment was designed to take dosages like this. Anything bigger, it will overspill and siphon into the machine on filling. Together, £2.75, £1.50, not a bad price to pay for both of them. I do have, especially you can benefit from that nectar points as well. When I went to the Sainsbury's I got this from, this is from the one in Wandsworth High Street, and this powder was the only one that was pretty much on the display. I hadn't seen this one before. I'm used to their sort of bigger size. In fact, sadly, I wish they still sold this range. Sainsbury's used to do a £1 Sainsbury's Basics powder, and it had 30% bleach in it. Sadly, you can't find that anymore. I'd say it's probably not the cheapest you can get in store brand. There is a brand that Asda brought out, and I can't remember what it's called. There's a 45 wash box, and you can get it for like £2 something or £3 something. It's a very new brand they brought out. I might give it a go one day. I'm into trying all the store brand powders. Fortunately, I've tried out most of them now, so the Asda one will be the last one to try. So yeah, I'm going to put the links in the description below. It's, you know, if you want something cheap in this day and age, a lot of people are going more for the store brand detergents now, rather than the big brands like Persil, Ariel and whatnot, especially with their increase in price. It's personal favourite, Ariel was of mine, but I like to wait till I get Club Card savings to get it, because it's quite pricey. Albeit, depending on the stains you use, I do advise this, each their own with washing, but if you're going to use this, at least use 50 or 60 degrees for the performance, and to probably cut down the suds a bit as well. There is nothing wrong with using hot washes. In fact, hot washes are better for your clothes, and they're well, not all of them. Some clothes do need to be washed on cooler washers, but it's better for your machine. And if you're washing things like bedding and towels, do it on 60 or hot wash, because it will kill any viruses and bacteria on there. But apart from that, and dust mites as well if you're allergic, that sort of thing. Apart from that, I've got nothing else to really say about it. But it's nice, it's not too overpowering with the fragrance, that's what I like. Especially when it came out the dry, it was a bit more calmed down. Line drying might be a different story. Often though, you do get a bit of reduction in fragrance from that. Hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope it helped. I look forward to reviewing some more products in the future. Not sure what I'll do, but as you know, I'll pull up anything I can find. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to keep it supreme and go with the flow.